Good morning. No. I decided today that we're gonna do a little bit of talking. First, we have to get our nose shakes in. Can we take our nose shakes? No. Which one you want first? That one? Okay. Get her done. All done? Okay. Here's your least favorite. Good job. Look at you.
Take a drink.
Drink? Look at you. High five. Take a high five? Okay, well, I'm sure you guys won't mind my squishy friend. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what occurred. Elijah is eating his eggs. The squishy friend's not feeling good enough to eat his eggs. So we'll either make him something else in a minute, or he'll eat his eggs when he's ready. Yeah. Squishy friend's not feeling too great this morning.
Yeah.
But, so, I wanted to talk about, because I noticed that I've never updated, I wanted to talk a little bit about what happened. I mentioned that we were going into the neurologist, and we did, and it's just now months later. We had our first neurologist appointment, I think right before Halloween, October 10th. I don't know why that's coming to my head, but it's either the late beginning or the middle of October that we met with, well, a nurse practitioner, because the neurologist, they were all kind of booked up. You know, a pediatric neurologist, they're all kind of booked up. But this nurse practitioner that we met with, I left the appointment feeling very uncomfortable. I was not happy with any of what she had to say. The whole appointment. Now, we all know Oliver's got long, beautiful brown hair, and that's just how it's going to be. We're not cutting it. And the whole appointment, so when we got there, they did the paperwork, they did all that, and then they put me and Oliver in this room, and we waited for this woman to come in. They took a picture of Oliver, they did all the vitals and blood pressure and all that stuff that they do when you go to the doctors. Well, they took a picture for his chart. And so this woman, the nurse practitioner, walks in, and she sees Oliver with the long hair, and I get it. And she starts using the female pronoun. Well, how is she? How old is she? What are her seizures like? She, her, the whole works. To which I'm responding, you know, he is 3, and this is what happens when he has a seizure, and he and him, and I'm using the male pronouns. I'm answering her questions. I'm not being rude about it. I'm not correcting her. I'm answering her questions using the correct pronouns. And my oldest son, Elijah, was in the room at the time, and she rudely points, she goes, "I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about her," and points to Oliver. To which I'm kind of like, probably could have responded nicer. I really probably could have, but I didn't. I'm like, "I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about him." And she's like, "It's a girl, blah, blah." I'm like, honey, I would know if my child was a girl. Trust me. I pushed this thing out of my body. I seen his business when I change his diaper, when I give him a bath. I mean, he doesn't wear diapers now. But, you know, I know what genitalia. Is it called genitalia? Yeah, genitals, genitalia. Okay, I never used that word. I know what my child has in his pants, honey. I know what the gender is. And so we had already gotten an MRI done before going there, because the pediatrician was concerned. He was having seizures. She wanted to know what was going on. So we had an MRI done, and thankfully the MRI came back normal, which is great, but does not mean that he's not having seizures. It means that there's no damage to his brain, or not even damage, just malformations, deformation, I don't know the right word. Basically, his brain looks great, which is great. It should. And so when the neurologist, or the nurse practitioner, when the woman sees that he has already had an MRI. She's like, well, that doesn't do anything. I don't know why they would order that, blah, 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 blah. Just very rude about the fact that the pediatrician ordered an MRI. So she's like, I think he's faking it. The MRI is normal. He had a 30-minute EEG like December, right after the previous December. This all happened in 2018, and he had an MRI or an EEG in December of 2017. Yeah, I don't know why that was so hard for me to figure out. Math is not mine. But, oh my goodness. You okay?
Yeah.
So she's very rude about that. She's saying that the 30-minute EEG that he had came back normal in December of 2017, maybe even January of 2018. I mean, it was around there. It was a while. And he basically did. He had no seizures from like January 1st to July 2018. He had no seizures. So to us, we thought, okay, it was just one-time thing. Maybe he was very sick. I mean, I know he was very sick around that winter time because he's prone to get croup and all that. But after July 26th, that's when they started coming back, and they were coming back hard. It was like so many seizures. Like, we did not understand why they were coming back. He wasn't sick. And I think this woman heard that the first seizure ever was febrile. So all of a sudden, she's like, I don't treat febrile seizures. Not my problem. No, not my problem. None of that. And she's just, oh, gosh, she irks me. She was so rude, and I don't hope we never go back to her, because I know they will never go back to her. But, oh, she just gets under my skin. So after that appointment, she ended up, like, reluctantly, fine, I'll schedule a 24-hour EEG, and if it comes back normal, he's not my problem. And yes, she did use the word, he's not my problem. I'm sorry, my child's not a problem. Look how cute he is. He's got cute. Okay, go brush your teeth. But, so this is now middle of October. I know we had to get through Halloween and all that, and the MRI, or so much. The 24-hour EEG is scheduled for the first week of November, or not the first, it was like first, second, November 7th. It was scheduled for November 7th because my husband would be on vacation then. If you don't know my husband, his name is Adam.
That's what.
Okay, we could play that. He would be on vacation, and so he could help with the kids. And so, that was what's going to work for us. So we had Elijah's birthday on November 5th, which I posted a video of. I'm pretty sure I posted something. Then November 6th, we are at the park, and this cute fish, this cute little soul, has 2 seizures. Yeah. So I don't know. I was really hoping that since the 24-hour EEG was the next day, and it's so weird because I never want my child to have another seizure, but I was really hoping that he'd have a seizure so that we could see, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here. This is why we could see something. But the EEG, the 24-hour EEG, he ended up going through it. He ended up going through the 24-hour EEG, and we got some footage of it. But unfortunately, my phone deleted like all my videos, and so the only videos that I managed to get back were the ones that I like sent to people, like sent to my mom, sent to my dad, a little checkup here and there, I'm still very salty that they got deleted, but it's okay, right? It's okay.
Yeah.
Are you feeling better? You want to go eat your eggs?
No.
No? Okay. But so he did that November 7th through the 8th. It was 24 hours, so like early morning. We drove all the way out to the hospital in Washington, and he had the test done. And he got to come home, so he was able to do it at home. He just went to the hospital to put all the probes on, and they had like this whole... Did that freak you out there? Did that freak you out? So he had like bandages, and you'll see in the video, and then I have some pictures, and he was just so sad. He looked like he was a boxer. But you'll see in the thing, good job flossing. Go look in the mirror though, okay? You'll see how it all went down. But he had that done for 24 hours, and then we got the results back a couple days after, and it was the nurse practitioner who called me, and she was very rude. She's like I said, he's doing it for attention, or there's pseudo, which means trauma. She said, there's nothing showing up. He doesn't have any seizures. And after that appointment, I should be happy. Okay, there's nothing showing up. She doesn't think he has epilepsy. I should be happy. But my child was still having seizures. And I didn't get to see her on the 7th to tell him or to tell her that he had a seizure on the 6th. Do you want to go or do you want to sit on Mommy's lap? Oh, you found the mouse. I didn't get to see her on the 7th to tell her that he had a seizure on the 6th. And so I kind of told her then over the phone, and she's like, not my problem. They're febrile. They're pseudo seizures. They're for attention. You did find it. She was like, not my problem. Go see your pediatrician. I don't care type of attitude. So, I wasn't happy. So I did. I did what she said, and I went to go see, not my pediatrician, I guess our pediatrician, it's his doctor. But, yeah. Let's just say the pediatrician wasn't happy, and she was like, okay, I'll take care of it. So then we get pushed up, and we get in to see. When I was at the neurologist's office the last time, I kind of wanted to see a different doctor the whole time. And I was told, you got this nurse practitioner because the doctors are like jam-packed. Like their appointments are 6 months out. That's how long the waiting list was. And I was just like, okay, makes sense. Maybe I can deal with her. Maybe we'll just switch offices. I don't know, something. So we are in the pediatrician's office, and she's pissed. I'm telling her how the neurologist called Oliver and was like, he's not my problem. And she's like, oh, okay, my patient is not your problem. I'm sorry. Like, he's not a problem to me. So she ends up doing what pediatricians do, talking to people, and gets Oliver into the neurologist. It was like a week later. It was like literally a week later after talking to her, because it was, I don't know, holidays. No. It was like a week later after the appointment, because we had went to go see the pediatrician. It was a Friday, so we had to wait for the weekend. So not exactly a week later, but it was a couple days later. But it was only because of the weekend. And my pediatrician, or I don't know how you phrase that. My pediatrician, our pediatrician, my kid's doctor. The pediatrician called me, and she was like, I talked to Dr. Bleep. Dr. Bleep is his new neurologist. And basically, she's going to start him on Keppra for the seizures because, we talked about everything. We talked about all the test results. And she is on the same page with me. She thinks something's going on. So we're going to get him on Keppra. So they started him on Keppra that day. And this is the same office, so they already had charts. So this doctor could pull his chart and see something. It wasn't just like, hey, here's a new patient, give them medication. Like, there was already a chart in this office that this doctor could pull and see who Oliver was. So I'm assuming she did that. Hopefully. But, so we go through with that phone call, and then the neurologist's office calls me, and they're like, your son was transferred to Dr. Bleep, and this is what Dr. Bleep wants to do. So they tell me, they're going to start him on 1.5 milliliters of Keppra twice a day, and I call and order it with the pharmacist. You okay?
So, will I put this in trash?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we start him on the medication, and then they say, we want to see him December 17th through 19th. They were like, one of those days she's on call, we can squeeze him in because there are appointments 6 months out. So basically she's the on-call doctor at this point. So she doesn't typically make appointments because these appointments she could be running down to the ER in a minute. Basically, on call. So we decide that we're going to come in on this day and that we're going to see the neurologist. She was so freaking amazing. I love her. She basically went over everything with me. We had like maybe an hour-long appointment, and we talked about all the things that the other nurse practitioner was like, nope, nope, don't care, don't care, don't care. We talked about all of those things to the point, I don't know if I mentioned before, but you okay? Sound like a cow over there. Oliver, in November of 2017, his leg was giving out. He'd just be standing there and his leg would give out. And I had mentioned it to the nurse practitioner and she's like, oh, irrelevant, irrelevant, irrelevant. I don't care, I don't care. And this new this new neurologist that we had was like, wait, what? No, that's something. No, wait, hold on. Wait, what? Like, just listening to everything. And so she's leaning into something. It's a really big word. That is PKD, but not kidney disease. It's an epilepsy form or neurological. So after all that, his new neurologist is now leaning into something, really big word. It is abbreviated to PKD or Dystonia 10, and she believes that that's what Oliver has aside from epilepsy. And so we're now clinically treating that with a medication. And, I forgot to mention, the Keppra was working really well in the month. So he started Keppra like November 19th, and he went in to see this neurologist December 19th. And the Keppra was working good. There was no there was no tonic-clonic seizures, but sadly there was an atonic seizure right before we went into the neurologist's office. So hearing that, she decided to also add another medication, trileptal, which she believed this medication would benefit him because of the symptoms he was having, or the leg issues that he was having, which kind of pushed her to believe that he has Dystonia 10. So, as of right now, he's been on Dystonia 10. As of right now, he's being clinically treated for Dystonia 10. And if the symptoms that he's experiencing let up, then we have more of a caseload to say, hey, insurance, can you do genetic testing to officially diagnose this condition? If the symptoms don't let up, we can obviously see it's something else. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You had to go poo-poo?
No.
He's got a bit of a tummy ache. I think he's just got to go poo-poo and he doesn't want to go poo-poo. Come here, you want me to rub your belly? I'll rub your belly.
This is how much I need.
Oh, okay. So basically that's what we're doing with that. Oh my gosh. You good? So basically that's what we're doing with that. We're clinically treating it, and then if the symptoms stop or, listen up, we have more of a background to say, hey, insurance, let's do genetic testing. If they don't, then we can say, okay, it's not that, let's try something else. Which sounds a little bit crazy, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, and genetic testing is really expensive. So insurance is kind of like on a oh, we don't really want to. Is it necessary? So we kind of need more of a, yes, it's necessary. Once we get that genetic testing done, because Elijah actually has a chromosome deletion that I'm like 99.9.9.9.9.9.9. I don't think there's that many points. I'm almost 100% positive that Oliver has this deletion because it's got to run somewhere in the family, and there's chances he can have it. And this deletion puts Elijah at an increased risk for seizures. Although he's never had a seizure, he's at an increased risk for seizures. Today's not my day. But yeah, there's this. I have seizures myself, so who knows? I could have the chromosome deletion. I don't know. But I really want him tested for it, but apparently genetic testing is really hard to get the insurance to do. And Elijah only went through because he had autism, and he was diagnosed with autism. And once you're diagnosed with a condition like that, they want to test for Fragile X. So the test that they ran was a test for Fragile X syndrome. I think that's what it's called. that was what they ran. And while running the test for Fragile X, while it came up negative for Fragile X, they managed to see this little friend in the background saying, "Hey, look at me, look at me." And so that's where we learned about the deletion of the chromosome, which was completely irrelevant to the test, but it was back there saying, "Hey, look at me." And so, I don't know. Hopefully we'll get it done. Hopefully we'll figure it out. But flash forward to now January 16th? 16th? Yeah? Okay. Flash forward to now January 16th. We are having new seizures. We are, well, not me. I'm referring to Oliver. Little man, little squish over here, has been laying on the floor a lot. He's now on 2 medications. As of December 19th, he's taking 1.5 milliliters of Keppra twice a day and 2 milliliters of, that was a weird word, of trileptal twice a day. He is very, very lethargic at times, just wanting to lay on the floor and cry, or just wanting to lay on the floor and staring off into space and blinking. And on Friday the 11th, I was just very alarmed. Like, something in my head was like, watch Oliver, watch Oliver, watch Oliver. Like, I was watching him like normal, like, you know, mom level. But something just told me to pay more attention to every little detail he did. And so we were standing at the bus stop, and I actually caught these. You okay?
I'm hungry.
Oliver?
Ollie? This is strange.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Okay, I only have a finger.
You okay? You alright?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I use voices going to his belly.
You okay?
No,
What's going on? Are you tired?
no,
Are you feeling itchy?
no. Okay. Put turns over.
You can run.
Okay.
Ready?
Set.
Go. You okay? Do you need a hug? No? Can I just want a hug? Now please ignore Elijah. He had a rough morning and was hungry. Although I did feed him breakfast, it wasn't enough for him. And when the kid is hungry, the kid is hungry. But basically in these videos, you can see him cut out and zone off, and his eyes, watch his eyes, definitely watch his eyes. And he wouldn't respond to me. He was just like not there. You okay? Hey. You're okay, sweetheart. You okay? You want to sing your song?
No.
Oh, well, there you are. You okay?
No.
What's going on with you? You didn't even pet the puppy.
Mm-mm.
You okay? I love puppies.
No.
Are you mad?
No.
Are you sad?
Yeah.
Why are you sad? Did you want to raise?
No. I want to wait.
So in the video you can see that he was kind of staring off to the side and blinking rapidly, not responding. He didn't seem startled by a loud truck that went by. There was even a dog. I of course did not get this in the video because it's somebody else. But there was a dog, a woman walking her dog, and the dog walked up and, you know, licked on Oliver's hand and was like, hey, pet me, little boy, I want to be pet. And for Oliver to not pet this dog or not acknowledge the dog was not normal. Oliver loves puppies, he loves kitty cats, he loves animals, you know, typical toddlers. And when he finally came out of it, Elijah was talking about this dog, and Oliver was like, there was a dog? And he just seemed very upset that he did not see this dog, that he did not get to pet the dog, but the dog, you know, came up to you. So that just, you know, more so solidified the fact that he was not there at that time. Or he was there, but he was, you know, the seizure. So I immediately called the neurologist, and they decided to move him up to 3 milliliters of trileptal twice a day. Not exactly sure what's going on. He's been laying on the floor, staring off into space, blinking rapidly, doing all that. I don't understand how he's never, or maybe I've just never noticed what they were, but from my knowledge, from my, you know, standpoint, I've never seen him have these seizures before. I don't know how he goes from having tonic-clonic seizures to we get the tonic-clonics under control to he has an atonic seizure to those are looking good now, so now he's having absent-minded seizures. I don't understand that. I'm having a really hard time understanding that. And myself, I have tonic-clonic and absent-minded seizures. I mean, I can see that he might develop them, but I don't know. I'm not a neurologist. I'm not a professional. I'm just a crazy mom, you know, who's trying to find answers for her kid, but I don't know. I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm over it, because what I mean by I don't want anybody to take it the wrong way, because what I mean by I'm over it is I'm over not knowing. I'm over wondering what's going on. You know, I want to say XYZ, you know, he's got XYZ, we know XYZ, ABC, 1, 2, 3. I don't know why I said XYZ. But I just want to know what's going on with my child and how can we stop them so that he can live a normal life. Because, I mean, it's not that he's not living his life. He's living a happy boy. Mine is today. Today he's got a tummy ache. But I don't want to have to, I mean, a mother always worries, but I don't want to have to worry more than I should have to worry. Impossible. You know, I don't want to have to worry every time he blinks in a different pattern, or every time he looks to the side, or every time he sighs or takes a deep breath. You know, these are things other moms don't worry about. Oh, my kid's blinking. He fine. He good. You know, every time he's sick, I have to worry about him having a seizure. And, you know, you worry when your child's sick. But I feel like as a seizure mom, you worry a bit more. And I want to know. I want to stop it. I want to know.